So today was my first ketamine infusion. I had anticipated writing or doing this journal prior to get started with it, but as things may be, everything got tight, crazy, trying to get everything prepared before we got here. So kind of late on the ball, but thankfully it's 7:30 and I'm able to mentally speak right now. So I just want to talk a little bit each day about what my experience is with the ketamine infusions. There's not much out there on the internet of people talking about it, and I just wanted to share. So, like I said, I am doing ketamine infusions with Dr. Hannah at the Florida Spine Institute. There's many places throughout the United States that does this. They do it in different forms. Some of them actually the physicians put their patients into a coma kind of treatment in ICU, and it's monitored day by day for 5 days. Some of them go for a couple hours every couple months. Dr. Hannah's protocol is 10 days straight, 5 days on the weekend, and then 5 days off, and then 5 days on again. And then after that, it's 2-week break, 2 days on, 2-week break, 2 days on again, and then we'll see where we go from there. So today did mark my day one ketamine treatment, and I was terrified. I didn't know exactly what I was getting into, other than what several of support groups members I've run into, they've explained to me. Some were very verbose in their descriptions, and now I understand after going through today. Now I understand where they were coming from, what they were trying to tell me. But having not been there yet, you just have absolutely no clue. You don't know what to experience. I was terrified going in this morning. The number one reason why I was terrified going in is because of the hallucinations. Ketamine is a drug that will make you hallucinate, but under the proper doctor care, they will give you different kind of medications to all but eliminate or reduce the effects of the hallucinations. I found out today that I probably did not get enough Versed that I probably should have, and so I'm going to hope that the doctor and nurse will see differently tomorrow and maybe give some more. But just a little start in how the day went. We showed up at 8 o'clock in the morning. There was probably 2, 3, 4, 6 different other people in our little pod that were having the ketamine infusions as well. There has to be a caretaker with you at all times. The caretaker has to sign a waiver and understanding that they get 15-minute breaks, no more than 15-minute breaks, because they're your prime person that's sitting there watching your vitals, although the nurses are out there watching them as well. But you come in, you fill out some paperwork, explain your quality of life, and the nurse comes in, takes your paperwork, and starts the IV. That's the IV. I've got an IV. I had to sign a waiver saying that I would go home with the IV and would not mess with it, so that's what is under this. It's an IV. So, started the IV. She asked me if I had any questions. At that point, I had no clue what I was getting into other than it was going to take the pain away. I just needed the burning to stop. I just needed the pressure in my face to stop. That's all I knew. So, she started the IV. Again, asked me if I had any questions. I had no questions. I had my headset in. I brought music. People told me to bring soft music that will just lift your spirit. My husband reached out to one of our friends and created 5 CDs worth of worship music. So we're hoping that just that uplifting spirit would help. Had it all ready to go. Plugged my earbuds in, talked to her for a few minutes, She started my IV and pushed the Versed in. I sat there and watched the Versed go in. Didn't think anything of it. And I don't remember anything past that, to that point. The next thing that I remember is being stuck in some wild, crazy tunnels. The tunnels are nothing that I can physically describe because nobody will ever understand it. Even people that have gone through ketamine is still not going to understand it because each person's different. But with every single song, the words sounded so distorted. The person's voice, I could not understand anything that they were saying. But I went through tunnels. I fell through tunnels. At some points, I even melted into the tunnel. It was just never ending. It kept going. And as the music would change, I would feel like a waterfall sensation. And now I understand it was people clapping after different worship songs. People were clapping. But I felt like I was in a waterfall. There were several times where I started coughing because I woke up with a cold. And during those coughing fits, I felt like I needed to cough, but I couldn't. And I felt like my breath was being taken away from me. And so I had no other choice but either go to sleep or try to fight it some more. So I just gave in and just tried to sleep. But sleep never came. I was running and running and running through the tunnels over and over again. Every song, the colors changed, the textures changed. It was never the same. And several times I would open my eyes, I would see my husband, the shape of my husband there, but I couldn't tell what he was doing. I could feel my hands, they were right there in front of me. I could feel them, but I couldn't see them. I could see the shape, but they didn't look normal, and I couldn't tell what they were doing. I could see my tablet that was playing my music. It was in front of me, but I couldn't see it. And I wanted to turn it off, but I couldn't, because I didn't want to hear the weird voices anymore. It was just really weird. And then I just wanted to know when it was going to stop. I just wanted it to stop. And then I tried to holler out for it to make it stop, and it wouldn't stop. But then the next thing I know, nurses grabbing my arm, bandaging it up to cover up the IV. And then my husband's walking around me. So clearly they unhooked me. And that was the end of the day, or end of the morning, I should say. We started at 8. I apparently got unhooked about 12, and about 12:20 or so, I had the sudden urge to go to the bathroom. But I couldn't feel my arms, couldn't feel my feet, and it was just an odd situation. During the whole part of it, I had that unnerving feeling, that not the doom feeling, not the death feeling, but just like I couldn't breathe. But it didn't help that I had a cold. John told me that he was keeping an eye on my vitals the whole time. And my blood pressure went up to like 130 over 86, never really escalated high. My heart rate went to like 104 as the highest, but the main resting rate was 80, 84. So he could see the highs and lows. I also had an O2 monitor on my finger. Anything under 90, he was told to call the nurse so she could put oxygen on me. My O2 stayed at like 97, 99. So to me, I felt like I was in the most horrible spot ever. But to understand and hear that my vitals were perfectly fine the whole time makes me feel better. But tomorrow, I gotta do this all over again, and they're gonna up the dose tomorrow. I don't want to see all that stuff. So I'm going to, fingers crossed, hope that they give me more Versed to really knock me out some more. and just being the person that I am and the faith that I have. I just know now that I have to have my music going, because I did not have my music going. Apparently I was panicking trying to get it to start. And I'll have my music going before she even touches me and puts the fluid in my IV. And I'm going to pray going in. Hopefully if I pray going in, I'll be more calm and more relaxed. As far as pain level, so that was the whole goal, is to make the pain go away, right? So I got here to the condo about 1 or so. I wanted a milkshake. At that point I wanted a milkshake on the way home. We got here to the condo and it was step by step by step in order to even make it to the condo. I don't know how long it took, but it felt like it took an hour to get to the condo. I couldn't feel my feet. It felt like 100-pound weight every step that I took. I landed in the bed and I didn't wake up till probably about 3-4 o'clock. And then slowly, like I said, it's actually almost 8 o'clock now. I mean, slowly as the afternoon has progressed on, I've gotten more alert. When I woke up after that 3 o'clock nap, I had no pain in my ear, no burning in my cheek, no nothing. I could yawn, I could open my mouth, and there was nothing. Of course, now I've been sitting here talking for about 15-20 minutes, and it's starting to have the pressure again, but it's nowhere near like it used to be. So today is day 1. I have 9 more days to go, and the goal is to have zero pain after day 10. So until tomorrow, we'll start this over again, see how I feel, see what the reactions were, and go from there. Bye.